The digital gaze, voyeurism, surveillance, and the erosion of privacy in the 21st century, the human impulse toward curiosity, the desire to peer into the lives of others, is an ancient trait. Historically confined by physical space and social taboos, this impulse, known as voyeurism, was primarily understood through a clinical lens as a paraphilia defined by the achievement of sexual arousal from secretly observing unsuspecting individuals. In the digital age, however, voyeurism has escaped this narrow diagnostic category. It has transformed into a normalized, technologically facilitated, and economically incentivized cultural current that governs global media consumption, social interaction, and the very structure of the internet. The pervasive digital gaze has blurred the line between private life and public spectacle, creating a society where exhibitionism and observation are not merely tolerated, but required. The shift began with the rise of reality television, which served as an early cultural incubator for mediated voyeurism. By purporting to offer an authentic, unscripted view into the lives of real people, the genre validated and commercialized the act of non-participatory observation. The ethical compromise was minimal. The subjects, aware of the camera, implicitly consented to surveillance. Yet, this model habituated millions of viewers to the consumption of manufactured intimacy, training the collective gaze toward personal drama and private moments as a primary source of entertainment. This foundational shift was rapidly accelerated by the proliferation of social networking sites. Platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube established a new, transactional economy where voyeurism and exhibitionism are two sides of the same coin. The modern user is simultaneously the observer and the observed, engaging in a fluid, two-way gaze that fundamentally alters the nature of consent. Individuals willingly engage in profound self-disclosure, documenting everything from meals and milestones to mental health struggles, to accumulate social capital and validation. The gratification derived by the audience, often referred to as social stalking, is less about sexual fulfillment and more about comparative identity formation, social comparison, and the reduction of uncertainty about the social world. This perpetual cycle of peak and post has transformed the private self into a public commodity, rendering the notion of a true, secluded private life increasingly obsolete. Furthermore, digital technologies have enabled a far more insidious form of voyeurism: systemic, non-consensual surveillance. This modern phenomenon closely aligns with the oppressive dynamic inherent in the clinical definition of voyeurism: observation without consent, but executed on a macro scale. Governments and corporations now routinely engage in data surveillance, tracking online activity, location data, and communication patterns. The proliferation of ubiquitous visual technology, from high-resolution CCTV cameras to internet-connected home monitoring devices, e.g., nanny cams, provides unprecedented access points for unauthorized observation. When this technology is maliciously exploited, such as in cases of hacking private security feeds, non-consensual dissemination of intimate media, often termed revenge porn, or using miniaturized cameras for upskirting, and other covert video voyeurism, the digital gaze reverts directly to its pathological roots. The ease, anonymity, and global reach of the internet amplify the trauma inflicted upon the victims of such invasive acts, as the privacy violation is often permanent and inescapable. The ethical and legal challenges posed by this pervasive digital voyeurism are staggering. Philosophers and critics have evoked the concept of the panopticon, a theoretical institutional design where inhabitants can be observed at any time without knowing if they are currently being watched, to describe contemporary society. The permanent possibility of the gaze compels individuals toward self-regulation, thereby exerting subtle yet powerful control over behavior and expression. Legally, jurisdictions struggle to keep pace with technology, often relying on outdated definitions of physical space and expectation of privacy to prosecute digital crimes. Moreover, the commercialization of the gaze challenges established ethical norms. The success of the influencer economy is predicated on the financial value of personal exposure, making the commodification of vulnerability a viable career path. In conclusion, voyeurism in the digital age is a multifaceted phenomenon that cannot be dismissed as mere entertainment or simple curiosity. It is a foundational element of contemporary culture, driven by technology and fueled by the intersection of human social needs and commercial exploitation. The migration of private life into the public digital sphere means that everyone is both a beneficiary and a potential victim of the pervasive gaze. While this digital environment offers unprecedented opportunities for connection and self-expression, it simultaneously demands a critical reevaluation of fundamental rights to autonomy and privacy. The ultimate challenge for a hypervisible society is to cultivate digital literacy and ethical boundaries that can prevent the normalization of observation from completely extinguishing the right to be unseen.